G'day legends, Atron here. So we're going in for a Guild Wars today, and I want to try a couple of different things. So I'm contemplating dropping Tree or Mike and seeing how Atlanticor goes. So what my Atlanticor looks like is fairly basic. I'm working on him slowly. I threw a couple of shards into him this morning. He's still on Enlighten. He's only 7 skill, so I think that was about 20k shards, maybe 10 and a bit, to get him there. And what I'm doing, I've got him in 5 Vite, I've got him in Yellowfant, I've got him in Lightning Rock. So what I eventually want to do is be able to put him on his talent to be 8 of 8 sprint, because I want to use him for a couple of different modes. 8 of 8 sprint and 5 Vite crest, and then he can be in either Lightning Rock or Blitz, even if he has that sprint. So that's my goal with him. I think we can use the Atlanticor to some nice little touches today on one of these bases. So we've got 309, 388, I think it's just, and then 91, and then 93 and 300. So we'll just start with on the right, and we'll go from the right to the left. So still Ronin bombing here today, guys, but I want to start incorporating, just, I don't know, it's kind of boring just doing Ronin bombing all the time, even though it is, I try to appeal to most people and have that free-to-play sort of aspect going on with the heroes that I use. I do like to mix it up, so I will be trying to mix it up with Atlanticor and Mike and some other heroes to get me going, and just a little bit more utility on everything. So what we want to do is, generally Skelly is nice to stack onto, and so long as we've got some troops going on and making sure Waller has enough targets to proc, he seems to be, you know, so long as the Skelly procs can be divided elsewhere, the Phoenix pet will seem to do most of the work for me. So even on a base like this, when the corners, you've really got the top corner and the right and the left corner. So long as most of the stuff in the middle, or even not most of the stuff in the middle, even if I've got, you know, just one of those corners kind of taken care of, it makes the entire base a whole lot easier to deal with, because it allows Heartbreaker to deal with one side, Rockno to an extent to deal with the other side, and then of course when we're at this level, Anubis is going to be able to clean up fairly easily, so not too much stress there at all. Obviously we're not using Mike here. Oh, I do have the Atlanticor out. I don't mean to have the Atlanticor out. I was doing some other stuff on him. No, he is not going to be good for any of these bases, so that's all right. I don't really plan on using a lot of him. So Rockno first. He's going to deal with probably this, and then I've got Heartbreaker over this side, couple of troops here and there, and then Heartbreaker died, but Anubis will pretty much be able to take care of the rest of the buildings. So that was that one. So let's move on. All right. So the second one here is where we do things a little bit differently. I'm going to be super reckless. I'm going to take out Rockno. No, I'm going to take out Tree. I'm taking out Tree. I'm going to use Atlanticor and Mike. Now, quickly going through my Atlanticor, what is he looking like? Why have I chosen to do what I've done with him? He's only 7 skill. He is Bublo Pet. I choose to use Bublo Pet over Yellowfant Pet, and I choose to use Blitz over Lightning. Fairly obvious explanation. If you use Yellowfant and Lightning, you're still getting the same tenacity, same stun resistance, but your movement speed is only, what is it with, I think it's 30% with Lightning Rock, and with Blitz, obviously you're not getting any movement speed with there, but you're comparing, really, it's the same stun resist, but you're comparing the 55% movement speed you get with Bublo. Even though it's for 2 seconds, it's going to get you that, you know, when you're only talking about the distance between a building, it's going to get you there quicker than Lightning Rock is. That is for sure. So that's why I use Atlanticor in Bublo Pet. Bublo Pet should be the person you want to use, who's going to be moving the quickest, or you want to move the quickest. Obviously auto proc heroes, that's not important, but with Atlanticor, where it needs to basic attack, it's going to be very important. So that is my recommendation, using Bublo Pet with Blitz, so you can utilize the maximum speed but still get that stun resist. So moving in here, this one was a little bit interesting, and it did take me a little while to like get the right stunning. This one has worked out beautifully, by the way. Granted, I tried this about 15 times before I came in, and I got the right position right. But right now, we've got Atlanticor, and he's fine. He's going to be chilling out down there. That's fine. He's got rid of 3 heroes. He got rid of that Demo, he got rid of that Athene, and most importantly, and just as a bonus, he got rid of that Gunslinger. So now, not bringing Tree, it doesn't really matter so much. I'm going to put my Ronin in. He's going to go up and have some fun with Walla, and this is going to be a breeze against 3 heroes. So I don't really have to worry about anything hero-wise besides Walla procs and Skelly procs. When he gets a little bit higher up, Walla is, you know, we just drop a few troops, we keep them in the distance. Once Skelly gets higher, we keep him higher. But, you know, the difference between having that AC proc against 3 of their heroes, Athene and Demo, that was huge. That was massive. And if you play around with the timing and you just get certain things a little bit, you know, a little bit right, you take the time. Like, granted, I did that drop maybe half a dozen, or a dozen times, 2 dozen times before I figured out just the right spot, just the right niche for that Ronin or that Atlanticor to drop. Like, I haven't used any heroes because this has been so seamless. I haven't had to worry about any of the other heroes running into. It has been a horseshoe base, but one of the things I do want to note about this base is earlier in the day, I came back and I had a look at it and I checked out most of them, and that Athene, it was running Empower. So it was empowering the Anubis, it was empowering the Skelly, it was empowering the Walla, but it was also making Athene a lot more susceptible to the AC. Because I didn't have to wait for that initial proc at the start. I was able to drop Atlanticor after her proc, or just when she reaches full energy, because there is still a gap between 8 Empower Athene and the Atlanticor procking itself, or her next proc, sorry. So it allowed Atlanticor to walk that distance, that 1 second extra distance, and when he's in Bubbler and he's charging really quickly, that's fine, and that he's not getting smashed by her Reign of Terror, and then his proc is actually, she's damaging herself more, if that makes sense. So that was what I found interesting about that base. That was probably the smoothest drop I'd done. It was very, 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 very well done with Atlanticor, but he just brings a little bit more utility. Obviously, the more skill, the more time you get with him. Atlanticor is not new. It is not a new tactic whatsoever. He's sitting at 7 skill at the moment. I used him 20k shards today, so 7 skill is 5.5 seconds. You know, it goes up by 0.5 seconds to 6.5, but then the real kicker is at 10 for 7.5 seconds. You know, you're going to be able to do a lot of damage if you can get the timing and the positioning right of your Atlanticor. Anyway, let's go on to the next one, and we shall see if we can use him and utilize him anymore there. Alright, so this third target here is the top, or the other 300k one. And I thought I was doing a little bit of testing just then. I thought I'd test out some more Atlanticor and Mike combos. So what happened here is there's an SK totem here. So that was pretty easy to proc off. Obviously, if he's got SK totem and he's deflecting on AC, it's pointless. He is a scatter Grim. I'm not sure, I think it's only crested, but as soon as he hit Atlanticor, he wasn't quite enough for him to proc. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bring a whole bunch of troops, and then we're going to drop Atlanticor right there, followed by Mike. Now this Grim does have revive, so he was able to die fairly easily, though twice. It wasn't a big deal. But if we're lucky enough, what will happen is the the Ronin will die as well. So I'm going to try this again. You can see what I did. I procced off that SK totem. I lured the Grim. I didn't lure the Grim out. I just really want him to attack some troops so Atlanticor can actually get the proc off. So couple of troops, happy days. Wait for that proc to go off. 10 seconds or something, whatever it is. We get a whole bunch of troops to go in, you know, 50 or so. And then we simply just drop the 2 heroes there. Grim's gonna destroy himself on both of them, and then when he comes up, Mike's proc will still be available, and if we're lucky and if I do it right, Mike will lure the Ronin down. So, and Ronin will be able to kill himself as well on either Mike or the Atlanta core. Now, he has killed himself on something. Okay, so Mike has done that. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop Ronin up the top now. He's going to go in. Hopefully Mike will just get stunned in this. But he'll be there kind of luring the Rockno a little bit, luring the Mike, and hopefully Ronin can have some fun at the top of this base while he deals with the bottom part. Now, wasn't the greatest. Ronin's still doing work, 51%. He's going down. Now he is dead. So that's all right. We don't have tree though, so we do have to be fairly careful in how we're gonna take on the rest of this base. Heartbreaker is definitely going to be taking out most of this, and then Rockno will be dealing with the bottom part. I believe he's in Blitz. No, I put AC in Blitz, didn't I? So I'll get him, I'll get Rockno straight on this mana thing where all those lines of troops are, and then we'll get Heartbreaker at the top, followed by some more troops, making sure there's no blinding blows or anything like that that's going to have an effect on the other heroes. So that's all right. Now what we want Anubis to do, we'll just bring him over here and he can proc on those buildings. So this is an easy way to do it. We don't have to worry so much about tree unless one of them had what is it, the owl pet. That would have sucked if they'd killed Anubis. That would be the only unlucky thing there. But another cool use of Mike plus Atlanta core, so extra deflect damage. Mike's running deflect crests, and yeah, just a little bit more interesting. Opens up a little bit more tactics and strategies within that Ronin Bomb. A couple of different things you can do to make the base just a little bit more simple, a little easier, or just if you're bored of the same old Ronin Bomb, or Skellying it up, it gives you a little bit more freedom to have some options and have a bit of fun in Guild Wars. So let's move on to this next one. So this is the second last guy. I think he's the second, maybe his third highest might. Now I looked at this base and there's not a lot of stuff we can do with the Deflect brothers. So I dropped Mike, I put Tree back in. I kept AC in there just because I don't know who I didn't want to swap the crest for Athene. Ronin should be able to take care of most of this. We've got a couple of buildings on the outside there and there, so really bad for minnow bombing, I suppose. If you just wanted to do Anubis and minnow bombing, those two buildings would act as great little beacons to make everything proc off. The only thing we've got to worry about is, I suppose, the deflect off Mike and the gunslinger, really. So which angle I want to go for first, probably over here, simply because I think, oh no, he's not going to break through the wall. It's only 3 high, but obviously not that far a walk or something like that. So because I want to deal with most of the troops is the biggest concern, not the buildings so much. So because if all of the main buildings in the middle are gone, then I can kind of make it a little bit easier with what's the word, with Heartbreaker and everyone else. So what might happen here is Ronin looks like he's going to run around the base. So what these buildings are actually doing is just acting as a very easy constant beacon for the Skelly procs to go onto. So because we don't have, what is it, an empowered Anubis or anything like that. Alright, hopefully Ronin will get rid of most of this stuff in the middle here. He's down, but really we only got to worry about the buildings on the side now. So that one building's down, so it's really just, I think Rockno and Heartbreaker are going to be able to do this just on their own. So Rockno is obviously going to tank with a bunch of copters. He's going to go there. Heartbreaker's going to go there. Heartbreaker gets copters as backup. We do have to remember 99%. So no stress on the 99%. We just get Anubis to finish that off. And back to the last one. So yeah, not really cool anything deflect on there, but a really bad base design because Ronin literally circled the entire thing and was able to get to 80% fairly easy without any additional help. So anyway, hopefully this next base provides us a little bit more fun. All right, lucky last, hopefully providing us with a little bit more entertainment. So I have gone back to Mike. So we've got Mike and Atlanta Core, and we're going to see what we can do with the two of those. So we are up against Athene, Sasquatch, Gunslinger, Nick, Waller, and Anubis. Nothing crazy, fairly easy base to Minnow Bomb, to Ronin Bomb, but let's just see how well our guys go against some deflection. Alright, so Sasquatch comes over, he's like, what you all about? Okay, so they all die, literally. Nick's there, he's probably going to be dying soon too, especially if he procs on a mic. No, so Nick's down. Okay, so that's all 4 heroes down to the Deflect bros. So I'm going to just put Ronin at the top so he targets that top and we can work our way down from there. No, he's going to go straight in. Perfect. Oh, that was hilarious. So Sasquatch, I'm not sure what this guy was running on his Sasquatch, but he did not want to stay alive against much Deflect. You know how certain heroes don't die as quick, like Anubis obviously, or anyone with Stone Skin who's not punching out packets of damage. Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. So it looks like Ronin's going to take this to town. No troops needed. The Gunslinger's dead. The Athene's dead. That was pretty cool. I think I'll be able to utilize using both of Mike and Atlanta Core, especially on bases like this where I can look at it and I can test it out before I get even close to 50% to figure out whether or not I'm going to be able to do both of them, or not use tree essentially. So if I can use both heroes and utilize one instead of the other. Oh wow, okay. So that one obviously had taken no damage and was just relying on the Doom Balloon procs. But that's cool, that finishes it off. We've got some interesting, just mixing it up a little bit using what I like to call the Deflect brothers in the Guild Wars. So just once again, I will show you what I was running. What does that place me in? Right where I should be. One thing I just want to note before we go is to make the hero faster, to make, whatever hero you want to go fast, put them in Bublo Pet and then put them in Blitz Artifact. That's going to be a better combination than using Lightning Rock and Yellowfin. If you need 2 people stun immune, then obviously use Yellowfin and Lightning Rock for the other one, but keep the hero you want quickest in Bublo. So that was my recommendation. Obviously with a higher skill, Atlanta Core can become a lot more interesting, that is for sure, and a higher crest level. Obviously I've only got him to 71 so he can wear those level 5 sets. My last recommendation is putting Malicy, I always forget how to say it, but the non-healing enchantment, that would be my recommendation, especially for Fortress Feud and maybe not Lost Battlefields. I don't think he has a place there anymore, but that would be my recommendation for making as many heroes, or at least a couple of heroes, not healing for a certain amount of time. So to avoid the enemy heroes on base getting Bublos or Angel healing. So anyway, that's it for me guys, a little bit different today. Hope you can take something away, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.